All right, so I've gotten some behind the scenes feedback on my previous video and Minethis1 offer. More about that in a second, but it did spawn a couple questions. So what I'm going to do is go through the last couple of videos and you can see the fundamental, or at least I'm going to point out to you the fundamental flaws in this no process that Nick here has. Right, so I'm just going to hit the last handful of videos and I will point out the contrast between how Nick and frankly most people do it that don't have a process at all, no algorithm, no set based way that they repeatably and reliably perform trades. And along with that, of course, is some evidence that what you're doing works. And I don't mean, oh, I won 2 of the last 3 trades or something like that. No. We're talking a regimented mathematical process to this thing so you can actually tease out actual statistics. And as well, that will guide you to position sizing because that stuff matters a lot. And you'll notice none of these guys ever talk about position sizing other than take a little, take a nibble. Yeah, well, a nibble isn't an actual number, right? So that's ridiculous. But that's what you get when you have completely unprofessional, vague hunches and feelings type people that, of course, think they're not. Okay, let's move. So this was back on May 1st.
In case you're not following along, all right? Number one, let's get started. Number one, we are way overbought. The problem with being overbought is that we're much lower to be overbought. So while you might be thinking in your head that, well, everything is great, market's going up, yeah, that's not how you analyze markets, right? We don't go off your vague hunches and feelings. So that's number one. So you got to get out of the market. Well, the market.
Okay, here we go. You got to get out of the market. By the way, this is where the vague hunches and feelings come in, as if he's not operating exactly on that, vague hunches and feelings. Now, is it overbought? Well, according to his indicator, sure. Was it overbought at a lower level? We're talking the SPX here. Yes. And my answer is, so what? Where's your evidence that that actually matters? He doesn't have any. Vague hunches and feelings. It doesn't feel right. Most people are career doomers, and Nick here is no different. But Jesus Christ, people are dumb as shit, and social media has made it worse. It's just conspiracy after doom after doom. He's no different. Folks, that is the least profitable way to be. Whatever you got to do, get your mind out of the gutter. Right? That's not how these things work. And I can say that because everyone to some degree is a doomer. And I've found it to be more profitable over the last decades to train myself to not be that way because I'm no different than anyone else. This is all about getting yourself out of your own way so you can succeed. That's what people don't do, which is why I tell you that Nick's never coming home. His best days are in the rearview mirror. So already starting down the wrong path of looking at overbought indicators. And, just because something is overbought and it's a lower high, I mean, it's got to go lower, right? He's checked it out, right? Well, no, he hasn't.
Market over the course of time goes up, and if you have a good strategy and well diversified, right? Okay, that's nice to go tell your friends at a bar or whatever, in some party.
Well, wait a minute there. I'm slighted. I tell my friends that in a bar or a party. When we talk about it, which isn't all that often. Nobody really gives a shit. No, that's right. So what he's saying is that buy and hold sucks. Well, you know what? For most people, buy and hold is the way to go. I'm telling you, it's a hell of a lot easier, and it will beat most traders. And you just have to accept that that's the case. That's the truth. So he's describing buy and hold and mitigating risk and whatever. Yeah, there's things you can do. There's a wide array of methods to beat the market, time the market, however you want to say, between what us active traders do and a completely, buy and hold. I haven't actually looked at my account in the last 25 years. There's a lot in between there that you can do to mitigate risk. But even if you were at the far end and a buy and holder, that's going to beat most people. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm not.
Reality is you got to mitigate risk, okay? We got a lot of risk. So, if you haven't done so, step aside.
Yeah, that's funny. Given what's happened, that's funny. So you've got a lot of risk here. No, you've got the amount of risk that you decide. It's not the market that's going to decide that. You decide how much risk. How do you decide how much risk? Reliably, sensibly, with some sort of mathematical rigor? Well, that's what the testing is for. I'm going to pound this into people's heads till they get it. And I'm going to show you examples. All right, and this just happens to be a good example. Now, this isn't me picking on Nick because he got one trade wrong. It's me picking on Nick because his entire process is wrong. And the one or two that I want to show you here in this video, I can really it's perfectly describes how he's wrong. And when I watched this video a few weeks ago for the first time, and I rewatched it again recently, I just, as the market developed, it's like, this is exactly why you don't do what he's doing. This is exactly, I know it. It just keeps reinforcing it when you see this happen repeatedly, more often than not. So here has you stepping aside for no reason. It's overbought, the market's up, it hasn't even begun to drop yet. Listen, folks, how are you paid? On your sentiment, or are you paid on the price? You're paid on the price, obviously. Is the price gone down, and has it gone down far enough yet for you to warrant an exit, however you define it? Now, you have to define it well, but this guy isn't even down this roadway at all. He's way back in the weeds going, just get out, just because his vague hunch and feeling tells him so. Well, I got this indicator and that indicator. Listen, there are about 3 million freaking indicators out there, and depending on where you want to spin the dial, they're going to tell you to stay in, they're going to tell you to get out. It's a nightmare. It's not the way to trade. It is a nightmare way to trade. There's nothing in that.
Cash is king. You don't believe me? Listen to Buffett.
Oh, listen to Buffett, don't believe me. Listen, where's Buffett right now? Is most of his money in equity a month ago and still today? Yeah, I think so. Is his largest positions not even still today, even though I know he's sold some? Apple? What, you think this guy's such an idiot he's going to run to cash? What is this? Don't believe me, believe Buffett. Because Buffett said something, yay T-bills? Well, big deal. Big deal. He's diversified. He's got equity. He's got T-bills. Where's he mostly in? He's in equity. And is that equity long-term? Yeah. He's not selling anything in any massive chunk. It's ridiculous. Is he waiting for a better market to buy? Yeah, hell, we all are. What's the point? He's not getting out. It's totally misunderstanding Buffett.
Oil. Oil is not going down because we have too much supply. No. The problem is we don't have enough demand. And the markets right now are forecasting that. Now imagine that oil has come all the way down to $57. And probably going to go a lot lower. Why? Because we're not all working, we're not at max employment. What's exactly the reason? Well, the reason is nobody cares what's going on right now or in the past. We care about what's going to happen in the future. And right now, the market is telling you that there's going to be a slowdown.
Yeah, well, I don't know. What is oil? 11, 12 bucks higher now. What do you mean not max unemployment? The numbers came out. Now, they were after this, but they've all been hovering right around 4%. That's pretty darn close to max employment. What is he talking about? By the way, he's just building up a story. He's just pulling out random facts that may or may not be true, so I shouldn't call them facts, but random points that may or may not be true, and all to what? Support his argument. No, you actually want to do the opposite. You want to look at something, you say, okay, I believe this. Now let me go out and try to prove myself wrong. That's how you want to be. He does the opposite. So do most people. I'm going to fast forward through here, and we'll get to some of the points that I want to get to.